All right, Lacey's trying to figure out her audio. So while she's doing that, we're going to get started. And I'm recording this for her so she can watch it later if she needs to. So let's go to page 43 in the grammar and get started. Page 43. Looks like you guys are already there. We're on page 43. I'm gonna message your, I don't know if you're at your mom's or your dad's, but I'm gonna message both of them. And I'll let them know. Hold on. Here we go. Lacey needs to log out and log back in. There we go. I think that's what she's doing. Oh, and let's see. Okay, got it. All right, we're going to keep going. Sorry, guys. We're talking about numbers today on this page, page 43. It says to spell out numbers that can be expressed in one or two words, like 12 and 100. So when we're doing our keyword outline, it's okay to use the actual number, but then when you use that keyword outline to write your paragraph, you need to spell out the words, spell out the numbers, especially if they're only one word or two words. But if it's like a date, like 2024, you would use numbers. That's the rule about numbers. It says use a hyphen, and a hyphen is the same thing as like a dash with numbers from 21 to 99. So anything from 21, 22, 23, 24, all of those have a dash or a hyphen in the word. Okay, that's how you write those out. Ordinal numbers tell the order or position in a sequence. So those are going to be spelled out too, like right here where it says first and second. So anytime you have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, any of those words, you spell them out. Sometimes in our keyword outline, we will put a 1 and a ST for first, but that's more like a symbol. And when you're writing out your paragraph, you want to actually spell it out. So in this book, they're going to do it wrong on purpose just for you guys to try to find. And look at this example here where it says, Timmy met 9 other mice on the second day. So that number 9 should be spelled out N-I-N-E because it's only one word. So you're just going to draw a line through it and then write the word above it. And then here that word second, 2ND, you're going to write it out, S-E-C-O-N-D. So just draw a line through it and then write it out above that. That's all you have to do in the book. And then we've got a comma rule. You guys already know that comma is used to separate items in a sentence. In week 5, you learned 2 comma rules to use with coordinating conjunctions. Here are the rules. A and B, notice there's no comma there. But then if you have 3 things, it's A, comma, B, comma, and C. So anytime you have 3 or more, you're going to use commas. If it's just 2 things or 2 verbs or 2 nouns or 2 adjectives, then you don't need a comma for that. And here's your example at the bottom of this. This has 3. It says the cook opened the basket, saw Timmy, and screamed. So those 3 verbs right there, opened, saw, screamed, since she did 3 things, we need commas in between those. So opened the basket, comma, saw Timmy, comma, and screamed. And here's the little rule in the margin here, A, comma, B, comma, and C. That's it for this page. Do you have any questions about this page? Shake your head no for me if you don't. Okay. There's a little more on the back, so go ahead and turn to page 44. And we're talking, it says think about it. Sometimes they have stuff for us to think about. We're not actually doing something about it, but we are thinking about it, which is good. It says in week 5, you learned that coordinating conjunctions, CC, remember that's the fanboys words, are used to connect items. If the CC connects 2 items in a series, you should not use a comma. However, if the CC connects 3 or more items, you must use a comma. We just talked about that. So here's more examples of that. 2 items. The cook grabbed the broom and stomped her foot. So she did 2 things. She grabbed and stomped. So no comma there. 3 items. The cook grabbed the broom, stomped her foot, and jumped on the chair. So that time she did 3 things. So we need commas there. She grabbed, stomped, and jumped. Now, 4 items. She's going to do more. The cook grabbed the broom, stomped her foot, jumped on the chair, and yelled for help. So she did 4 things: grabbed, stomped, jumped, yelled. Commas after each thing that she does, right? And the last comma is always right before the and. And then it says, can you think of a 5th thing that the cook may have done? What else could she have done? Maybe smacked the mouse. So she could have like grabbed the broom, stomped her foot, jumped on the chair, yelled for help, and smacked the mouse or something like that. What else could she do? Call her husband? Help! Maybe she grabbed the broom, stomped her foot, jumped on the chair, and yelled for help and called her husband. Or maybe she ran out of the room or something like that. So you get the idea. The more you add to this, the more commas you're going to need. The last comma is always right before that word and. All right. Any questions about this page? Okay. Let's go to the practice page. And Lacey, can you hear me okay? I see you're here again. Can you unmute and say hi?
I can hear you.
Yay. Okay, good.
Hi.
I can't see you, but that's okay. As long as you can hear me and I can hear you, that's the main thing. So,
The
yes.
only reason that it wasn't working is because I had a new computer.
Oh, maybe you got to figure out how to make it
Mm.
connect. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay. I'm
I'm
glad you
using
got it.
my old computer right now.
Oh, okay. Trying to get this thing so it doesn't have that glare on here. There we go. That's better. Okay. Well, yeah, you're using your old computer. That's okay. As long as it's working, it sounds like it is. So, who would like to read the sentence today? There's 2 sentences actually. Anybody want to volunteer? Thank you, Camila. Go for it.
He dropped onto a wooden table. It was set for 10 mice. The glasses, platters, and plates shattered.
Good. Very good. Shattered just means broken in a bunch of little pieces. So that's our vocabulary word. You can just put a check there by vocabulary. And then articles, we've got 2. So go ahead and find those by yourself. And then William, there's 5 nouns. Where are all the nouns at?
Table,
Table
mouse,
or mice, you mean?
mice,
Yeah, mice. Okay.
plates,
Plates. Good.
plates,
This, oh, you said plates. Sorry.
and glasses.
And glasses. And then this one. You know this word?
Planters.
It's called platter. Platters. If you guys know, I always think of Thanksgiving, when you have all your awesome food for Thanksgiving and you put the turkey on a big plate, it's like bigger than a regular plate. That's called a platter. When you have something on, like almost like a tray that you would serve something on. That's called a platter. Good, William. Okay, so now we have 2 pronouns. Lacey, where are the pronouns at?
He and it.
Very good. He and it. Adjectives, Camila?
Wooden and tin.
Good. And then that number 10, we just learned today that we need to write it out, huh? Yeah. And you guys know how to spell 10, T-E-N. And then we're going to put A-D-J on top of that. Very good. Coordinating conjunction, William?
And
And good. We'll come back to the prepositional phrases. So I'm going to have Lacey find the verbs. Where are all the verbs at? There's more than 3. There's 1,
drop,
2, 3, 4. Dropped is 1. There's 3 more.
was,
Good.
mm,
Was what? Was
set,
set is actually a verb because that's an action. That's how they set the table. Was set. And then there's one more that happens to the glasses, platters, and plates. What happened to them?
started,
There you go. You got it. And then for the subjects, Camila, what dropped onto the wooden table? Or who, actually?
Jimmy or he,
He. Good. And then what was set for 10 mice?
it,
Good. And then what shattered?
glasses, platters, and plates.
Yes. And the book is wrong here because it says only 3 subject verb pairs, but really there's more subjects here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it is all those things that shattered. They're all the subject of the sentence. So, okay, so there's that. Now we have the prepositional phrases. So, William, where are those?
Onto a wooden table,
Good. That's 1.
10 mice.
Or 10 mice. Excellent. Those are easy to find once you find everything else. So very good. 3 capitals, you guys can just mark those by yourself. I know you know where those are at. The beginnings of all the sentences. 2 commas. So Lacey, are we putting in commas or are we taking out commas? What do we need to do here?
Putting in commas.
Okay, good. Tell us where they go.
Um,
You're right. We're putting them in. It has to do with that last sentence because we're talking about 3 things here.
the glasses, the pouch,
After glasses, and then after what else?
ladders.
Platters.
Wait,
There you go. That's right. That's called platters. I know it's a weird word, but that's like a tray, basically. Glasses, comma, platters, comma, and plates. That's right. Those are the 2 commas. Period at the end, and we already fixed the number 10. So we're good. We did it. So your homework, as usual, is the next 3 pages. So we can put away grammar now and go ahead and get out your binders next. Okay. Get out everything you have here for last week, which was, let me look. What did you guys write about? Oh, yeah, eating together. Go ahead and get out everything for eating together.
I didn't get to finish mine because I've been sick this week.
Oh, okay. That's okay, Lacey. You can turn it in when you feel better, okay? So you're not going to put it away yet. You'll just keep it in your pocket there. I want to just look really quick at the yellow page again with you. This should be with your stuff for eating together. And The topic clincher rule, that's what we have now on our checklist. So I want to make sure that you remember how to do this. Do you guys remember the hand motions that we did last year? Like this and then like that. So let's do it together. Put your hand up like this, like bend your fingers over. And remember we said you can copy me. So I'll say it and then you repeat it. The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect two or three key words. Okay, do it with us, William. And I can't see you, Lacey, but I'm hoping you're doing it with us. We're going to do it at the same time this time, okay? Ready, go. The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect two or three key words. Good job. Okay, so this is important. The topic sentence is that first sentence of your paragraph, okay? The very first sentence. The clincher sentence is the very last sentence of your paragraph, and they must have words that match, either repeat or reflect. Remember, repeating means the same word, the exact same word. Reflecting means it could be like a synonym. It's almost the same word, but it's not exactly the same word. Okay, that's what that means. And two or three of them are going to repeat or reflect. So let me show you an example paper really quick. And this is not one of my students, but this came in the teacher stuff. So I'm going to share a sample paper of somebody else's paper. Her name is Addison. And it's called Gobbling Food with Your Family. So they changed the title, put a new title on it. But the part I want to show you is the bold words. Now, when you do this on your checklist, you can either use a highlighter when you're typing or actual like physical highlighter on your paper, or you can make it bold. Okay. And this student made it bold. So notice we have people, world, and together in the first sentence. And then look at the last sentence of that paragraph. I see people, world, together. So she repeated three words, and that's part of the rule. It says two or three key words. So she has those repeated. Look at the second paragraph. She has family, marvelous, benefits. And then look at the last sentence. She has family, wonderful, benefits. So we see family and family, those match, and we see benefits and benefits, but here she reflected. Remember, you repeat or reflect. So she has marvelous and wonderful. Those are two different words, but they mean kind of the same thing. And that's okay. So in your paper from now on, for the rest of the school year, you need to have your topic clinchers for every single paragraph. You can either highlight with a highlighter or make it bold. I know some of you are still handwriting your papers, which is fine. You can use a highlighter like this. Or last year, I think what we did too is put a box around it. If you want to do that for your topic clinchers, you can put a box around the words. But they need to either repeat or reflect. Okay, and there's got to be two or three. I also wanted to point out that they've got all their dress ups in here. They've got the ly adverb, happily, the who which clause, here's which, strong verb, gobble, that is a strong verb, and then the because clause. You guys have four things now you got to underline. Look at the second paragraph. We've got extraordinarily. That's a big one. That's an ly word. There's a who. There's discovered is a strong verb. And then the because clause. So this is how I want your papers to look. Okay. You've got your topic clinchers and your dress ups. And then, of course, your title right here, her title, gobbling food with your family. She has gobbling food with your family. She basically used that part of her sentence as her title. But the title rule says 1 to 3 keywords from your final sentence. Do you guys have any questions about any of this that I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, good. Okay, then you don't have any questions. We'll move on. So now Um, let's put away this yellow page first in your binder. If you're still working on this week's homework, just keep it in your front pocket. But if you're done with this week's homework, this paper goes behind model charts and outlines in your binders. Model charts and outlines. Right here, this one. So put it behind that one, model charts and outlines. It'll go, you'll see other yellow pages there. Put it behind all those. And then all the stuff for eating together can go away in your finished work. Whatever you keep your finished work in, your binder or your other binder, your folder, because we're done with that now. So all the stuff for eating together needs to go away. And then you're going to get out the next lesson, which is week 8. Week 8 is called 20 uses for salt. I know it's a weird one. Get mine out here. 20 uses for salt. Or uses for salt, actually. And it's 4 pages you're going to get out. It looks like this. Week 8. Go ahead and get week 8 out. And you need 2 pieces of lined paper today. So get out 2 lined pieces of paper and a pen and a pencil, and then you're all set. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. 2 pieces of lined paper. You got it, Camila? No? You can't find it?
So I found the stuff for the lesson, but I'm waiting for the line paper. Oh,
Oh, okay, good. Oh, okay. There it is, magically. You got it. How about you, Lacey? Do you have your stuff? Week 8 and
yes.
2 pieces. Okay, perfect. The first thing I want to look at with you. Oh, let's see. Oh, let's start with your lined paper. Let's do the lined paper first. I'm going to review a couple things with you. Okay, so this is going to be kind of like your class notes here. So go ahead and put your name here. And today's date is 10/23/24. 10/23/24. And then you're going to skip a line and we're going to talk about summarizing a reference. We talked about this last year, so you're probably going to remember some of these things. Summarizing a reference. Let me zoom in so you can see that. You guys remember when we talked about that word summarizing, and I told you I don't really like how they spelled it because I see SUM like in math when you add 2 numbers together. But what we're really doing, I just want you to draw an arrow down from that word sum, from that prefix sum, and I want you to put SOME. And then dash A dash rise. Summarize. That should be how we spell it. Because, and then I want you to circle that word sum. Really, what you're doing when you're summarizing is only telling some of the information, not all of it, only some of it. So when we're looking at an article, we're gonna look at it a little differently in this part of the lesson because I want you to write the word subject right here, and then you can circle it. The subject of your paper is the main thing you're talking about? Like this week, we're talking about salt. I know that sounds weird. There's a lot of interesting things about salt that I bet you don't know. And then from that subject, salt, we're going to find 3 subjects. And I'm going over my red line here. That's okay. I just want to draw like 3 lines out. And then I want you to write the word topic, 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 so that those lines go to each one of those. Now, the topics are things about the salt, because the salt is the main subject. So we might discover what things salt is used for. And I'll just give you a little spoiler alert here. You can use salt to clean things. That could be a topic, like how to use salt to clean things. You can use salt to get rid of something stinky. So get rid of odors. So that could be a topic. And you can use salt to kill weeds in your driveway. If you have weeds that are coming up through the cracks, you can put salt on there to kill the weeds. Camila?
My mom one time killed a snail with salt.
Yes, I've done that before too. It's kind of gross, but it's kind of cool at the same time. So yeah, salt is used for bugs also. But underneath each topic, I want you to put like a Roman numeral 1 and then a Roman numeral 2 and then a Roman numeral 3. So these become your paragraphs. Okay. So your subject is the main thing you're talking about. And then each one of the topics it becomes a paragraph. When you're writing these paragraphs, do you guys remember last year we talked about this funnel? Try to draw a little funnel here. A funnel is used for pouring something big into a smaller container or into a small opening. Maybe if you change the oil in the car, you need a funnel to get it from the big jug to the little opening in the car, right? Or if you're pouring something in the kitchen from a big container to a small container, you use a little funnel. So we talked about this last year. Like if you have something that has 20 facts about salts, like you've got a ton of information about salt, but you only need 5 things. I'm putting that in the narrow part. How are you going to decide what details or what facts that you're going to pick? Do you guys remember talking about this last year? How are we going to know what to pick? We have to look for something. We have to look for, and I'm just going to move this over a little bit and put it over here on the side. Things that are interesting. That's the main thing. You're going to look for, and I'm going to put a little star by that. You're going to look for facts that are interesting to you, because if you think they're interesting, it's going to be a lot more fun to write about, and it'll be more fun for people to read about if you are interested in it. But sometimes we look for things that are important or relevant. That just means related, right? If it's something about salt and you might need to mention it because it's important to know or it's relevant to the subject, then you might pick something like that as far as the details that you're going to add. But I put a star next to interesting because I think you need to really focus on that. Look for the things that you think are interesting about the subject. So, like I said, go ahead and skip a couple lines, like 1, 2. And then I want you to write subject again, and then a colon, and we're going to put salt. And then skip a line, and then I want you to put topics and a colon. And we're going to list now the different topics we're going to find in this article. So that's all I want you to write so far on this page. So after you get all that written down, give me a thumbs up so I know you're ready. Okay. Good. Okay, thank you. Lacey, you good?
Yes.
Good. Okay, let's go to the article next. And you're going to notice this is different for us. This is a list. It's not in paragraph form, it's a list. And what we're going to do is categorize these things because you're going to notice Some of the uses for salt, like I said, are for cleaning. Some of them are used on plants. Some of them are used on bugs, on odors, different things like that. So we're going to label each one of these and put them in categories. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean as we go here. 20 unusual uses for salt. Number one, kill poison ivy. You guys know what poison ivy is? Okay. Usually it's like at the beach or sometimes in the mountains. It's the type of plant, if you touch it, you immediately get itchy and you cannot get rid of it. It's really bad. So you don't want to touch that stuff. And it says add 3 pounds of salt to a gallon of soapy water and spray it on the plant. And that'll kill the plant. So if you accidentally have some poison ivy growing in your backyard and you don't want it there, here's a tip for you. This is how you can get rid of it. So I'm going to label this one. Next to the number 1, I'm going to put a P with a circle around it. That's going to stand for plant. Okay? So you can use salt on plants to kill plants you don't want. So go ahead and write that in on your paper. A P with a circle around it next to number 1. Number 2, soothe bee stings. Have you guys ever been stung by a bee before? Me too, I have. Yeah, doesn't feel good. This is what you can do if it happens to you. Camila?
Actually, I don't remember it because I was only 6 months when it happened.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm sure you cried though. I bet. Soothe bee stings. Wet the sting immediately and then cover it with salt. It will feel better. So there you go. That's something you can do if you ever get stung by a bee. Put salt on it. So I'm going to put B for bug here because it's kind of like dealing with a bug, right? So we're categorizing these. So we have a P here next to number 1. We have a B next to number 2. Number 3, cleaning baked on food from pans. Spread salt on the baked on food, moisten the area with water, and wait for the salt to loosen the food. So if your mom or your dad or somebody's baking, it happens to us if we bake something in like a casserole dish, and then after everybody's done eating it, it's like there's food that's stuck on it. This is a tip for you for cleaning it. So put a C with a circle. That's for cleaning. That's going to be number 3. Make sure you guys make these notes right here next to the numbers. Number 4, kill grass or weeds in concrete cracks or between patio stones. And sometimes this happens in our driveways. There's cracks in our driveways sometimes, and then the weeds start coming up through that. Well, you can sprinkle salt on the cracks, wait a few days, and then pour hot water over the unwanted vegetation. And that'll kill it, make it go away. So I'm going to put a P here again. This is another plant because we already talked about poison ivy. Here we've got killing grass or weeds. Number 5, test for rotten eggs. This is an interesting one. Place 1 tablespoon of salt in a cup of water and stir. A fresh egg will sink, but a rotten egg will float. You know, sometimes if the date is bad on the egg carton and you want to make sure it's okay to eat it still, because sometimes you can eat it past the date, but you have to check it. This is a way you can check it. So for this, I'm going to put an F for food and a circle around it. That's talking about food, so I'm going to use an F here. 6, clean up a broken egg. If you drop an egg on the floor, cover the mess with salt, wait 20 minutes. The salt will absorb moisture and make it much easier to wipe up the egg. Boy, that's happened to me before. I've dropped a raw egg before. It's a sticky mess. So that's a tip for you. And this one would be a cleaning tip. So I'm going to put a C for cleaning. Even though it has to do with food because it has to do with an egg, but it's more about the cleaning. Number 7, refresh your sponges. Soak a grungy sponge overnight in a salt solution, about 1/4 cup per quart of water. Okay, so that one's talking about cleaning your sponge. right? Making sure your sponge isn't stinky. You're going to clean it. So we're going to put a C for cleaning your sponge. Interesting stuff, huh? You probably didn't know all this stuff. I didn't know either. Okay, number 8, deodorize sneakers. Okay, sneakers are your tennis shoes, right? If your sneakers get stinky, which can easily happen if you wear them without socks in the summer, sprinkle a little salt in the shoes to absorb the moisture. Just make sure you dump out the salt before you put your shoes back on, because that won't feel good. You don't want to walk around with salt in your shoes. But like at night when you're sleeping, just put some salt in there. This is going to be odor. So I'm going to put an O with a circle around it to stand for odor. Ant deterrent. To stop a line of ants from marching into your home, sprinkle salt across their path. B for bug. Did you know that? You can stop ants with salt. I did not know that. Next time I see ants, I'm going to try that one. Number 10, mosquito or chigger bite relief. Now, that word chigger, we don't really have those in California, but they are in Oklahoma and Texas. I've seen them and I've been bitten by them before. They are a tiny red bug. It's weird, but they bite like mosquitoes do, and they leave you really itchy. So that's what a chigger is. So I'm sure you've been bitten by a mosquito before, and that's annoying. It's super itchy. You haven't, William? Oh, good. Well, lucky. Have you been bit by a mosquito, Camila? Yeah, probably. If you hang out outside in the summer in Bakersfield or in California, yeah, Olivia has too. You'll probably get bit by one. You don't feel it until after they're done biting you. You don't feel the bite, but you just have this bump and it's super itchy for like a couple days. So you can soak the affected area in salt water and then apply a coating of vegetable oil or lard. Weird, huh? That's supposed to help you. So I'm going to put B for bug on this one. Has to do with bugs. And there's more on the back. There's a lot more. So go ahead and turn it over. We're going to keep going. Keep labeling. Number 11, brass or copper polish. Make a paste with equal parts salt, flour, and vinegar. Use a soft cloth to spread the paste over the tarnished areas. Then rinse with soapy water and buff the object to a shine. So this is a cleaning tip. So I'm going to put a C there for cleaning. Extend broom life. Soak a straw broom in a bucket of hot salty water for about 20 minutes. It will last longer. That's kind of a cleaning to clean your broom. Clean artificial flowers. Put them in a paper bag with salt and shake the bag gently for 10 seconds or so. They will brighten up significantly. That's weird. You know, artificial flowers are flowers that are fake, like fake flowers. Yeah. Well, somehow you can make them brighter with salt. I've never tried that, so I'm curious about that. But that is also a cleaning technique, so I'm going to put a C there. Energize fresh flowers. A tablespoon of salt in the water of a vase of cut flowers will help them stay fresh longer. That's a plant, so I'm going to put a P here because those are fresh flowers. Are you guys writing these letters down next to all the numbers? Hey, you have some. Those are pretty. I like that. So you can put salt in there, I guess, a little bit of salt to help them last longer. Could try it out. Tell us if it works or not. Hopefully they don't die. That would be kind of sad. But maybe it'll work. Okay, number 15. Vacuum muddy footprints. Generously sprinkle salt on muddy areas of carpets to dry out the mud before vacuuming. That's probably happened before. Maybe when it's raining outside, you don't realize it. You bring in mud and it's like, uh-oh. Try putting salt on it. I think it works for pet accidents too. If you have any dogs that sometimes accidentally go potty on the carpet, It's happened to us before. It's like, uh-oh, we need to get rid of that. So this is a cleaning tip. I'm going to put a C here. Make non-drip candles. Soak new candles for 2 hours or more in a strong salt solution. Then as they burn, they will not drip and create a mess. That's interesting because sometimes candles will drip and then you get wax on the table. You can soak them in salt water. This one I'm going to put an M for because M is going to stand for miscellaneous. That just means like it doesn't really have a category. It's like its own thing. Non-drip candles. 17, keep milk fresh. Add a pinch of salt to a quart of milk and shake well. It will stay fresh longer and perhaps even taste better. That's another weird one. Never heard of that one before. This has to do with food, so I'm going to put F for that one. Brighten your face. Massage your face with a mixture of salt and olive oil. The oil moisturizes the skin, and the salt cleans dead skin cells. Be sure to wash it off. Yeah, you don't want to walk around with salt, oil, and salt on your face. So rinse it off when you're done doing that. That's interesting. I'm going to put an M next to this one for miscellaneous because that one doesn't really fit any of the other categories there. Control sink odor. Pour hot salt water down a stinky drain to minimize a bad smell. If that doesn't help, call a plumber. There's your advice. Try the salt and then call a plumber. That one's for odor, so I'm going to put an O here. Number 20, keep windows free of frost. Rub windows with salt water so that they won't frost up in below freezing temperatures. I did not know that. That would be handy to know if you, on your car, I'm thinking, you know, in the wintertime, sometimes it gets icy out there. So before the ice comes, wipe down your windshields with soapy water, not soapy, salty water. This is a miscellaneous one too. I'm going to put M there. All right, thumbs up if you wrote down all these letters next to these numbers. You got them all down there?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Because this is important. We're going to categorize these things now. So back to, I see that, Camila. Back to your lined paper. Where's mine at? Go back to your lined paper for a second. Here we go. Wait a second. Where's mine? Ah, it was hiding. This one. We've got our topics. Let's make a list. We've got P with a circle equals plants. Then we've got B equals bugs. We're going to write these categories now. These are your topics. Okay, these are the letters we wrote. C equals cleaning. F equals food. O equals odor. M equals miscellaneous. So I'm just going to put MISC with a period. That just means it didn't really have a category. It was kind of just a random things you can do. So what we're going to do next is count how many P's we wrote down. So when you're ready, after you write all this down, I want you to look back on the list, count how many P's we put, and tell me, unmute and tell me how many P's we have. On our list. So I count 1, 2, me on the back. Oh, there's 3. You guys see that? I'm counting all the P's we wrote. I counted 3. Is that what you guys got too? Okay. How many B's for bugs can you count?
3.
3 again? Okay. How about C for cleaning? There's more of those, I think.
7.
7, is that what you got, Camila? 7 for cleaning, good. How about food? How many for food? F. I only
2.
see 2. Yeah, that's what I got too. Okay, so 2 for food. How many for odor?
2
I got
again.
2 again. Miscellaneous? M?
3. 3.
Good. Okay, so make sure you write those down. This is how many of those uses for salt for each category. So these are your topics. Now remember, we only need 3 topics, right? Because you guys are only writing 3 paragraphs, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 topics. So we're only going to pick 3 of those. So for this week, we're going to start with just the first one. And I always like to pick the one that has the most, and that's obviously cleaning, right? That has 7. So I'm going to use that one for my Roman numeral 1. So now on your clean sheet of paper, go ahead and get a clean sheet of paper out. And you're going to put your name and date again on this one. Oops, 24. Skip a line, and this time we're going to write the title. So it's 20 unusual uses for salt. And we're going to call this our KWO. 20 unusual uses for salt. I know I'm going kind of fast here, but just keep writing, keep following me. You're going to skip a line, and we're just going to focus on Roman numeral 1 this week. Let me double check here how many we're supposed to write. Okay, so we're going to do underneath that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, we're going to put parentheses around. That just means you can use 5 if you need 5, or you can just stop at 4. It's totally whatever you need for your paper. And then underneath that number 5, I'm going to write that word clincher to remind me, oh yeah, I got to do my topic clincher. I'm going to put that word topic right here next to the Roman numeral. So the topic clincher, remember, those are those 2 or 3 key words. Don't forget that part. Okay, now we're writing about salt. So I'm going to need to put the subject is salt, right? So I'm going to put that here, salt, for my right next to Roman numeral 1. And then we decided to talk about cleaning first because that had the most in there. So I'm going to put cleaning and then tips like advice, right? Ideas on, so tips actually with an S. That just means like to give you a tip on how to clean something. It's like advice on how to clean something with salt. So this week, we are only going to do Roman numeral 1. Next week, we're going to do 2 and 3, but we're just focusing on Roman numeral 1 this week. So you only have 1 paragraph. That's kind of nice, right? We're going to split this up between 2 weeks. So look at your article again, your list, find one of the C's and raise your hand and tell me which one did you think was the most interesting out of the C's. Which one did you think was the most interesting? You can volunteer to tell me which one you thought was interesting. All the ones that have a C, so pick one of those.
Cleaning up the broken egg.
Cleaning up the broken egg. Oh yeah, number 6. That's a good one. That's pretty interesting. So if you pick that one, you can put for number one here, clean broken egg. If you like that one, if you pick a different one, that's okay. You can say what it is, and then you're going to use number two to tell how to clean it. So, Lacey, how do you clean up a broken leg or leg? Not a broken leg. That was funny. Why did I say that? I have no idea. Broken egg, not leg. Okay, nobody break any legs here. Okay, Lacey, tell us how to clean up a broken egg.
If you drop an egg on the floor, cover the mess with salt. Wait for 20 minutes, and the salt will absorb the moisture and make it much easier to wipe up the egg.
Good. That's a lot of information, but I think we need to have cover with salt, and then it says 20 minutes. We can do a 20 because we don't have to count. Remember, we don't have to count a number or an abbreviation. If I put min, that's an abbreviation. So we have cover, salt, 20 minutes. And then I like that word absorb. You know what that means, to absorb? It means like soak it up, right? It's almost like a sponge. When a sponge is dry and you put it in the water, the sponge absorbs the water. So for the egg, because you know it's wet and sticky, when you put salt on it, the salt somehow absorbs the egg. There's something about it. You know, this is kind of chemistry we're talking about here, science, you know. I'm not sure how it happens because I'm not really into understanding all that science stuff, but something about salt absorbs, it'll soak up water or liquid. And that's what it does for these eggs. So you've already got one and two done. So you guys, for your homework, you're going to figure out what you want to pick for number three. You're going to pick something else that has a C next to it, and you're going to write what it is, and then use number four to tell how to clean it. Okay, you're probably going to need two spots to explain something else here. And then you can use the number five because we got a lot of choices. We have 7 things that talk about cleaning. So you can use number 5 and try to put it all on one line for a third thing. But you're going to finish this outline, but you're only looking at the ones with C for cleaning because that's your main topic for this paragraph is cleaning. Okay, don't pick anything that has a P or a B or an M or an F. Only focus on the ones that talk about cleaning for this, okay? And you're going to finish your outline, and then you're going to write the first paragraph. And remember, your checklist, let's look at it really quick before you go, has a lot on it now. And we added something. We're going to talk about this next week, but notice there's quality adjective on here already. You guys already have 5 things to underline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you might need to add extra sentences to your paragraph so that you have a spot to put these things, okay? It's okay to add more sentences to your paragraph. You're going to make sure to use this, but then you can add more if you need to make sure you have all of your dress ups in there. And then don't forget that topic clinchers right here. So you're only writing one paragraph, but you got to make sure to include all this stuff. There is a new band word on here, 2 new band words. We haven't talked about them yet, but try not to use good or bad. That's on your list now of band words, and we're going to talk about that next week. You guys have any questions about your homework this week? You're going to finish this, pick something else that has a C next to it, and then write one paragraph. Make sure you use your checklist right here, all this stuff. Okie dokie. If nobody has any questions, we're done for today. Good job, you guys. See you next week. Bye. Have a good one.